Welcome to the Creative Ascension Podcast. If you're looking for a space to fit in, this ain't it. This is a space for the ones who were never meant to. You know who you are, the rebel light leaders, the artists, the conscious parents, the soul-led entrepreneurs, and the unnicheable modern mystics. The ones who feel it in their bones that there's another way to live, lead, and create. Here, leadership isn't a strategy, it is embodied. Creativity is not a skill, it's your life force, and your life itself becomes art. This is where we break from conformity and really return to sovereign self-expression, where business is an ascension pathway. The body becomes the anchor, and your creative power becomes that thing that sets you free. The Creative Ascension Podcast explores embodied leadership, spiritual entrepreneurship, and conscious creation for the visionary leaders building the new earth. Each week, we dive into raw, real, and activating conversations with the ones who are walking it. The artists, the builders, the disruptors, the cosmic architects of the new paradigm. The ones like you who are choosing truth over approval, freedom over safety, and expression over perfection. I'm Debbie Lim, creative, visual alchemist, new earth artist, and this is your reminder, your body is the canvas, your frequency is the paintbrush, and your life is the masterpiece waiting to be lived. Welcome to Creative Ascension. Welcome, beautiful souls, to another amazing interview under our brand new umbrella of the Creative Ascension Podcast. Today, I'm so excited to have the amazing Wendy V joining us. She truly is an embodied creatrix, a fellow soul sister who's really walked through the fires of initiation like so many of us have, and has really embodied her journey, her medicine, and now is sharing that with the world in so many exciting ways, which I can't wait to talk to you about today, Wendy. So, welcome, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here. Wendy is a transformational coach, yoga teacher, and founder of Soul Fit Academy and Pranabar 2.0. I can't wait to hear all about those. With more than 3 decades in the wellness space, Wendy's a visionary who blends science and soul to guide people back home into alignment, vitality, and their true essence. Her work centers on unity consciousness, soul-led living, and her signature 4-pillared approach to alignment. Wendy's creativity and leadership flow from a lifetime of seeking, healing, and remembering, from a childhood shaped by challenge to exploring spiritual pathways and surviving domestic abuse, teen motherhood, and solo parenting, all while sensing she was always guided. Her mission now is to embody and share the wisdom of the soul in this new era of community, coherence, and collective awakening. So, oh my gosh, what an amazing intro, Wendy. So much juiciness just in that alone. So again, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to kick it off by just telling us about, let's start with the now, like what season of life and business are you in, and we're in the year of the fire horse. How's that hitting with you at the moment?
Well, it's perfect actually when you were just saying that, because the add-on to that little intro is that I'm also now a grandmother of 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so which in our culture, I'm Dutch, which is Oma, so I'm an Oma now. And so that's a really exciting new time, and really interesting how life how those phases and how those situations change us internally and energetically, and how the whole grid kind of shifts a little bit because the dynamic shifts. And so that's been a really exciting and interesting new development in my life. So that's really good. And that fire horse energy, it's interesting to see how everybody's really shifting, and this whole new earth shift is showing up in everybody's life. And what I find interesting with my work is that I find I kind of have always been in that bridge place of working, where there is this bridging between worlds anyway, and that's kind of how I've lived my life, this awareness of both. And that has really, even unconsciously, without seeing it earlier, been where my purpose has been, where I've worked in my work. And so recently about 4 or 5 years ago, I moved to Mount Maunganui from Auckland, which was wonderful. It's something I've always wanted to do, and thank you, COVID gave me the opportunity to do it. And so I was there for 3.5 years, and then recently, just last year, came back to Auckland, just felt the call was time to come back. My daughter was at the time trying for a baby, then since got pregnant, and so it was really important to be here in that time, which was really magical to see the magic and the guidance, my own personal guides and guidance to be there for her, but also what the timing was to come back to Auckland and to be there for old clients, new clients, and I am much more of service here than I was there, although for me it was a beautiful place to be, just living by the beach and working from home, and it was a wonderful reprieve. So yeah, that's where I'm at now, is recently coming back to Auckland, probably a year now, and re-establishing my business here. This is where Pranabar 2.0 comes in, because I did have Pranabar, which is a wellness, meditation, and what I call a youngering and biohacking studio. So I had that, and that was fun. And that was a deep dive. And so I came back to Auckland, not intending to open any sort of studio, and I haven't as such, not in the same way. But when I took on this place where I am now, I was sitting there in an empty place, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, this is a studio space. And so now I have a beautiful space, which is a private one-on-one and small group and workshops. And then I have a little wellness lounge with my massage and sauna, and hoping to get another ice bath because we had to get rid of that one. But yeah, so it's now evolving into what this next 2.0 version is. So that's kind of a bit of a catch up.
Juicy. That sounds amazing. And of course I knew I was looking at your, the information that you gave me, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of mirroring going on. Now, I also moved away from Auckland and went and had the beach experience for 5 years, and then yeah, I understand what you're saying when you just feel called to come back, because I said to my husband, there's no way I'll ever move back to South Australia where I'm sitting right now. But don't you just find that it's like a deep pull from the earth, right? It's like we're just called into these spaces, and you just know. Well, for me, it was like when I go and stand in the place, my whole body knows. I'm like that when I run retreats or do grid work. It's like my whole body knows what to do once I get there. What was that like for you? Was it more like, how did you find that?
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. For me, Mount Maunganui has been my happy place for years anyway. And every time I'd go and visit there regularly, got friends there and everything like that. And I would just it just calibrates my nervous system. I just instantly feel at ease and joy. So it was something I always wanted to live there at some stage. Anyway, but yeah, so when I did get the opportunity, it was like every day I was like, I can't believe I live here. I'm so grateful. And then I would come back to Auckland, obviously, to visit my daughter and other things. And one time I was here and I went, uh-oh, and I kind of felt that drop, and I was leaving going, oh, shit, I think I'm coming back. Mm-hmm. And I went back down to the mountain. I kind of stuck my fingers in my ears going, la, 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 la. I'm ignoring that one. And then I went for another visit, about a month later, and it was so clear that I was like, damn it. And so then I went back, and literally after that visit, within 2 weeks, I was back in Auckland. So within 2 weeks, I gave up the house, moved out of the house. I had a flatmate staying with me. She was like, oh, well, actually it works out because I want to go overseas and I'll just bring it forward. So it just went bang, bang, bang with ease. Some clients of mine up here had a place that they were trying to sell. They said, oh, you can just move into that place. So I had somewhere to land straight away. I was like, I'm not going to move back into central Auckland. The house that they had was in central Auckland. And I was like, I'm not going back to my old work, working in the same place. went back and worked at the same place. And it's really great. It's all been really great because the difference was I was different. I had changed. So I
That's what's
wasn't
happening.
going to the same place. And when I first landed back here, I was a little bit sad, and I remember the last day on the beach, I was like calling out to the universe and to my guides because my channel was so open there. And so I kept saying, do not forsake me, you know. And then so I came back here, and the universe said, just trust me, you know, and I landed in this house where I got to stay for free. And it was like in a part of central Auckland with this beautiful park and these trees that just like, you know, surrounded me, and it was amazing. And then it was beautiful. And even though I was really sad, it was really also really a beautiful landing. And what I kept telling myself over and over again, because every time I would allow a familiar filter to cover, like I would look at the place like, oh, I've been here before and I don't want to be here because of where I was before and how it was before. Every time any sort of preconceived ideas about what it was, I would take that filter off. And I would make myself see it as if this is a brand new city I've never lived in before. You know, I've never driven down this road before. I've never worked in this space before. I've never seen this park before. And I just constantly kept like renewing because I was a completely different person. And so then once I started seeing it like that, I got to experience it literally like a new place, which is exciting because I really, really am living here now like I've never lived here before, like I'm in a brand new city. And so that gave new opportunities, and even old clients who've come back, you know, we were out of alignment when I left. And so when I came back, I was like, I don't think we could work together again. And then it just kind of happened. They would inquire like, oh, we hear you're back. And I'm like, no, I'm not working with you. And then when I would just like take the filter off and like, it's literally like they're a different person too, you know, and every single, it's just such a beautiful opportunity to just renew and just be in a new place and be a new vision and allow new opportunities. And yeah, it's been really, really rewarding. And you know, I do love my beach, and I miss the beach and I miss that energy. However, I also am so appreciative. I literally have on my back doorstep here a beautiful park. I'm surrounded by trees. I've got a family of magpies that have adopted me. And so we have this beautiful thing going on. I'm 2 kilometers away from my daughter. It's so easy. You know, it's such an easy, beautiful, I got a great place to stay. I mean, I couldn't be more grateful.
I love it. So, like, you know, this is what alignment really is. So it sounds like you, first of all, have a really clear connection to what I call your soul voice, right? When you are being instructed by your higher self, basically, and the human wants to argue. But, you know, it's such an art, isn't it, to really start to unlock that surrendered action, which is what you're talking about here. It's like I'm not just going with the flow and letting life bounce me from thing to thing, but I'm listening and I'm responding and I'm aware. And you know, I think the difference is because I had this too. I was like, oh my gosh, will I be going backwards? Will I get sucked back into the old thing? You know, because there wasn't quite a lot of trauma and nervous system dysregulation here, and emotional suppression and depression, like all the things. You know, I went bankrupt here. I had no money. I was like, oh god, do I want to go back on this land? But you know, when we're on an ascension spiral, you can't go down. Can you? It's actually impossible. So, you know, and I love what you're saying about, and I really think we could expand this out because this is what I'm seeing happening everywhere, right? You say you come back and you're having a different experience, of course, because you're conscious, awake, and aware, but because you're different. So you absolutely cannot have the same experience because you're literally a different tuning fork for the environment. And what I'm noticing at the moment, and this is also what I'm living through too, is a lot of light workers that have been doing a lot of deep sovereignty work, and I'd love to hear about your journey with that and ascension work, is a lot of them are getting pulled back into spaces and places where they said they would never go again.
Damn
And
it.
then people going back into corporate, people going into schools, people going into, because, and I was looking at this curiously and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, because they've stepped out, they've reclaimed their sovereignty, they're holding these codes now, and how are we going to move the new earth forward if we don't bridge by going back into these systems and I feel like the people will literally be the frequency holders, the catalytic sparks for whatever needs to happen for these systems to change or evolve or be deconstructed, because it's not we're not going to like switch off society as a whole and switch in, but it's like that internal switch. Hey, we've become the new earth, living, breathing embodiment of. So, even like what you're saying about being able to go back and see everything through fresh eyes, like, I think I just want all the listeners to hear that and take that on board, because that's so, so powerful, because perception is literally everything, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I also know is that and like you say, your ascension spiraling upwards. And what I love about the concept of a spiral, if you imagine one side's facing the light and one side's facing the dark. And so we do these spirals, right? And sometimes we're spiraling at the back end of it, right? So we're in that dark side, but that once we come out of that dark side, the spiral upwards is back in the light, right? And so there's this shifting. And what also happens with that ascension is that we literally are experiencing reality at a different level of dimension. It's literally a different dimension. And so, of course, I'm going to meet the clients, the version of them that are also at that higher dimensional version of them. And so, yes, I am meeting the same people, but they're not the same because I'm not the same. And they wouldn't be attracted back into my world if they weren't in a frequency match, or inquiring or asking for what my codes are now. And so that's why the ones that are coming back into my world, the experience is so different, because I'm different and the codes are different, and they're asking, and their soul is also, we have some form of soul contract, because otherwise they wouldn't come back, these same clients. And what's also interesting is that what I also see for myself is the way that I was in this environment and that environment, the teaching and different spaces that I was showing up, was that actually my own conditioning and my own perception of the environment was what was limiting the ability to share what I'm here to share, because I had a perception of how much they could receive, or what they were willing to receive, or how they would receive. And so, because like some of the work I do is in a gym environment, and I've been there for a very long time. And so, yes, I was sharing my codes, but quite often it was in a way that I felt like might be palatable to them, so that I don't scare them off, or that it's not too woo or whatever else. And so what's been really wonderful about this journey away and coming back, like all bets are off, or whatever you want to call it, like everything's gone. It's like I am 100% showing up fully as woo as they might perceive. And I'm like, it's okay, because I'm kind of like, if it doesn't resonate, they won't show up to the classes. If it doesn't resonate, they're not going to sign up for my programs. If it doesn't resonate, they don't have to take it on board. And so what's been really amazing and a little bit interesting and eye-opening for me is that, and maybe it's just timing, but it's going off. Like the classes are full out of the timetable. They're huge. And I am implementing in the gym as well. I'm implementing a wellness program there. I'm introducing meditation classes, sound bath classes, breathwork classes. And like because I've worked there so long, they basically just let me go for it. I'm creating like a wellness festival weekend where we're doing ice baths and breathwork, and we're doing and I'm asking the cafe to bring in some cacao for that weekend, and just like, sprinkle the woo through the place. Yes. And what's interesting is people are ready for it, right? Oh. They're ready for it. And so I'm like, this is so much fun. And now I feel like even more on purpose without any handbrake on, right? Because in the past, I knew I was on purpose. And like I said, I'm a bridge. So I was in the right place, but I was handbraking myself, and maybe they would have been more open than I think. And now I'm I'm just like, okay, let's go, because we can't hesitate anymore. We know what the world's like, and this is needed. So I'd be doing a disservice if I was going to water it down or hold it back, because I'm worried about how they might perceive. Oh, it might be a bit much for them. It's too late for that.
I love this conversation. I feel like you really needed to say all this to me today as well. Like, while I deeply believe it all, right, I was put in a position yesterday where someone, people who I don't really know them, and I don't know like where they're at on the level of the woo spectrum, asking me to describe my retreats, and I found myself getting a bit like, tangled in words,
curating
because
it.
I was trying to filter it down, and I just thought, I just tell them,
My mantra at the moment,
now, right?
I have a very powerful mantra at the moment, which is I don't care.
I love it. I don't care. I love
it because like now when my sensitivity picks up some resistance, because that's why I filtered myself, because I'm highly, highly picking up all of it. And there's 50 people in the class, and I'm constantly sensing, oh, they're a bit resistant. Oh, I better tone it down for them. Whereas now when I feel that resistance, I actually speak them upwards. And I also understand, like, now it's like bringing everything into it and bringing coherence into the space. But what I also notice is that response I used to have because of that sensitivity, because you can see that nuanced little tweak in their eyes where they're twitching their eye just a little bit to what you just said. And so then I'm like, I retract a little bit and go, oh, that didn't land, all these little things. And so now what is helping me to not over respond is I just, in my head all the time, I say, I don't care. I don't care whether they landed. I don't care if it's sensitive for them, if it's challenging their belief system. And I do care deeply, but it helps me to not care, right? And not over care and not filter myself.
I've got my selenite sword, for those of you listening, where it's like, we do care, but it's sovereignty, right? It's like, instead of dropping down to where they're and mollycoddling them where they're at, it's like, rise with me if you want to. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I'm over here.
It's so powerful.
And this is a big shift, isn't it? Because so much magic happens when we do that. It's incredible. Okay, so you're working at the gym, and this class that you're doing, is this yoga? Is this your prana bar?
So I in my studio space. So in my studio space, I have one-on-one coaching, and my one-on-one coaching, which is my main deep dive offer, which is what I call soul coaching. And that's all about, and all of my work is soul coaching. It doesn't matter what avenue we're using. It's all about bringing you back into soul alignment. And because my background is in health and wellness, it's, like when I was 19, I started with aerobics and things like that. So it's that journey. However, I've always had that spiritual infusion all the way through. So there's been, the yoga journey and the mind body journey and the crystal, journey and the shamanic journey and all the things. So it all like adds on. And so soul coaching really is that gave me the piece that made me, when I actually did the soul coaching training, it gave me the piece that go, well, that's what it made. It's like I used to go, what do I teach? Well, what am I? What do I? Well, I can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that. And now it's just like I'm a soul coach, and so that even if I don't have to word it, it's like that's the outcome we're always looking for. So if I'm taking you into the gym, I've got a program at the moment called Youth Camp, which is the youngering program. Which is all about youth enhancing. So the youth camp part of it is youthfulness and being youthful and finding that spark. And in that program, we include weight training, the importance of weight training, because we know how important that is just even for muscular strength, so that you feel vitalized and strong and that you can show up in the world as the warrior of like this new earth even, And so the part of it is also the mindset stuff. So people fall into patterns of belief systems, even what we've spoken about at the moment about like our own belief systems that were holding us back. And there can be belief systems that make your world very, very small. And so especially in a, say, aging perspective, that belief about what is aging and why are you feeling old or acting old, because you believe it supposed to be this way, or that's what happens at this age, or whatever else, or we're carrying the burdens and we haven't let them go, and so that weighs you down, it dims your light. And that's how people get older and older until that light does, it's completely, it's distinct, what do you call it,
extinguished.
Yeah.
And you get
it
more
could also be distinguished, but anyway, if we go the other way. And so, and the other part of it is energetics, understanding that we are a big ball of energy, right? So, when we can clear the energy of that and we can live from an energetic perspective, the physical body will be enhanced and will radiate that light and energy. And ultimately, the energy and the prana, the life force, and then the soul expression is what is youthfulness, right? And so even if sometimes the decline of the physical vessel, that's something that will happen because we're in 3D form still. And so while we're in the 3D, there is still that decline of some of the physical tissue. However, the radiance and the life force and what actually is the spark of life and the vitality and the exuberance to be alive, that's youthfulness. And so that is what my program is at the moment, which is a evolution from the youngering and biohacking programs that I used to run, which was literally a little bit more not necessarily 3D, but more of those like how do you improve your cellular health and your gut health and, inflammation and all those things that we do focus on in youth camp.
Go through these parts of the journey. Hey, I love this. And it's almost like I'm noticing with a lot of light workers at the moment, as well as like moving back into these other spaces. Seeing a lot of people really in my world dropping a lot of weight, going back to the gym, picking up the weights. There's a real kind
I'm
of
noticing that in that
physicality going on at the moment, and I love it. And same here too, because I was really struggling as a highly sensitive person. I feel every shift in the earth and everything that's going on out there, and so it's been a ride. Like I always. A part of my body awakens with the codes through the bones, and it's actually quite painful process. I sat with a healer recently, our beautiful friend Melly. Do you know Melly? No,
yeah, absolutely.
And it was just like, actually, I just really need to focus on my body at the moment, so that this can actually hold the amount of light that is pouring in. And so, it's an interesting, I think we're going to see more conversations on that around. So it sounds like you're already leading the charge.
Well, I mean, like I said, I started in the gym in 1989. And so there was, as I said in the bio, I had a really challenging childhood and the teenage years in particular. And so what the gym did for me back then was it was such a powerful place to find safety, find stability, find routine, find empowerment. It was so, so powerful for me. And so that has been a consistent thing, like in that 35 years or more of training. I miss maybe a week. I've missed a week maybe once or twice. No matter how much I've been on my spiritual quest, even when I went to India to the ashram, I did some sneaky step ups in my room and had a band with me and things like that. So what I call the gym, like the gym environment, to me, I call it my church. And so because I am so much out there, I'm so ungrounded if I want to be, and I can be out there so much that there is nothing more grounding than going into the gym, listening to some house music and picking up some steel, so like after I've had this crazy retreat or I've worked with clients on like multi-dimensional level and I've been out there with them, to go to the gym after that and like, vroom, and then I'm back here. And it's so necessary because I think I'd be way more, I'm pretty out there at times anyway. So imagine if I didn't have this. And so,
I found it amazing. So, and I love the whole youthful element too. So my kids are 15 and 17 and they've started going. and they just, naturally felt inspired to do that. And they're building these incredible bodies. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I mean, I started in the gym around the same time as you, I think, and I was the junior North Island champion for bodybuilding.
Amazing.
But unlike you, I have not been, it's not been the thing that I've been consistent to. I go away, I come back to it, but the callback lately has been very loud and very strong, and I'm actually loving that. Yeah, like you say, you just get into like pure presence. I'm just in my body, I'm in the moment, and it just builds like when you combine all those things, isn't it? It's like your inner coach comes online. It's like, I can just do one more. Like all the mindset work kicks in, and then actually co-creating with intention the new physical structure, not from like probably my teenage years. It was a bit like, I just want to get skinny, I want to look like this, I want to, all these sort of
course,
maybe more flakier reasons. So it feels so different now, such a different
and it's different for us because of the phase we're in, but look at your kids and things like that. It's different for the world, because these kids, a lot of these kids now, they're not drinking and they're training and they are doing, active, and they like eat differently, and a lot of them, so it's not just different because we're different, it's also different because the world's different as well.
That's really been exciting to see, is that without me saying or doing anything, they were inspired to do that. And I'm excited for the youth.
Me too.
They've got it going on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, amazing. So seeing your yoga class, incredible. And you're amazing. So tell me a bit about, because I also I get really excited about, love to just channel and do really woo-woo stuff. And then I love it when we find a bit of science, when we find a bit of like all these connection points and start to, at the moment, I'm in a deep dive with the DNA, and how that relates to expression and resonance. And it's just fascinating. So what is like you blend your spiritual work with science? Tell us a bit more about your
absolutely. And I think like the battle I felt like I had, but now I understand the gift that it was, is that I do feel I came in with a very, very conscious awareness of this expanded reality and all of it out there, and whatever my connection is out there. However, I also came in with a very, very, very strong analytical aspect to myself. And I was born in Holland, and the Dutch culture is quite intellectual as well. And so it was also part of the conditioning. And in my journey of wanting to, my main questing has always been the spiritual quest. And in that questing, my analytical mind was always like a bit of a gatekeeper. And so my analytical mind wouldn't let me completely ascend. And I literally felt this duality, and I felt this battle with this analytical mind that I couldn't get past. And I was very conscious of the fact that I knew what was on the other side of my analytical mind, but I couldn't get there. It literally felt like that. It felt like a border. And so what was a gift to that, though, was that the analytical mind constantly was always asking, like always inquiring, always asking. So every single rabbit hole, journey, quest I went on, there had to be more. No, but what about this? And how about that? And how does this work? And what about more? So the great thing about that is that I literally quested in many, many areas. And so, when I was younger, that initially was Christianity, because I was looking for my God, my connection to what I know. What I feel like I was always looking for home. And so my initial was Christianity, and I went to church with my grandmother. And then when we moved to New Zealand, I went to a church with a family up the road. And as a 20-something-year-old, I became a born-again Christian. I was going to go to Bible college, and I was right in there questing. And always still there was this, even at church, I'm like, I don't know. There's something, like I just didn't like the whole, you got to go through me to get there. And I'm kind of like, yeah, that doesn't sit with me. But the gym as well, like the questing in the gym, I was fascinated. I didn't do well at school, but when I decided to become a fitness trainer, the very first course I did was anatomy and physiology. And I was in a dark place. And I thought I was really dumb because I left school at 15. I didn't have any qualification. I never did well at school. I was told off all the time because I talked too much. Now I do that for a living. Yeah. But I remember going to the anatomy and physiology weekend, the initial weekend, and I was like, oh my God, I was so engaged. I loved it. I was fascinated. I understood everything they talked about. And I remember driving home, and at the time I was living west and the sun was going down. And it was literally, I'll never forget it. It was like, oh, the glory. And I saw, it was like I saw the sun for the first time because I'd been living in such darkness that I didn't see anything. And I saw the sun, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I could be a doctor. And I literally woke up. And that was literally 1989. And from then on, there wasn't 1 year up till now that I haven't studied something, researched something, gone into, done another course. At the very minimum, I'll do a few workshops or, short courses, but it was just questing, not only for the seeking of home, but also for the fascination of so much to learn. There isn't enough lifetime it's so fascinating. And the areas of learning that...
The body is endless too, isn't it? Right?
And it's not only the body, like the thing is like, yes, the body. And so I deep dove into anatomy, and then I teach anatomy on the yoga teacher training. And even it's just only musculoskeletal. I haven't even dived into every area. And so, yeah, the body, and I remember thinking all this questing out there to the universe, but when you go into the body, it's the same universe, right?
And the micro, the macro.
Yeah, and you go right down, and it's like this universe in here that's never ending. It's fascinating. And so, yes, and then from there, obviously continued questing. So there was all the other bits and pieces, little side avenues. Did a little tarot and then a little Christology and some Reiki and all those things, and then back into the, anatomy and the anatomy trains, and a big deep dive into fascia, which is another, one of my big passions. Fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, because it aligns with the meridians, and so it's the conduit between the energy and the physical body, and so that is perfect an area to deep dive in. And it's just been so, it's never ending. I mean, every time I'm like, oh, now I want to do that,
So let me ask you, because I was a Les Mills instructor for a little while before we moved away, then went to the beach, then came back, and then the gym was like, well, I want to come and teach again. And I was like, yes, but not Les Mills. I'll channel a class. I don't want to do all the the choreography and stuff, because I knew I could bring through whatever. But we ended up doing quite a lot of yin, and I don't know, I started getting these little flash forwards to the future where I could kind of see us in spaces, or maybe it was a gym, or maybe we're in a temple, or maybe the gym is a temple on a different frequency, or where we're actually taking people deep into this journey, like almost like quantum journey, or maybe you're already doing it in your yoga classes. Like, we're kind of starting to open up the Reiki, the quantum journeys, and the ability to really co-create with the body on such an intentional level. I don't know. It feels exciting, and it feels like the gym is a really untapped
absolutely resource. And what's fascinating is that, like, first of all, in like LA, they have those multi-dimensional aspects to the gym. So gyms over there's some amazing, and not just LA, but a lot of those places.
Okay, I need to go visit.
Beautiful, holistic. I loved LA. I love it. But, these beautiful holistic centers where you go to the heavy bodybuilding section and then go into the most beautiful mind-body yoga studio, and then finish off with a sound bath, and then go and get your smoothie and your cacao, whatever else. It's beautiful. And obviously sometimes it's on a more superficial level as well, however, what I do feel, and when I came back to Auckland, because the gym that I work at, I've been there for years and years, and introduced yoga there, and big program. And so they're looking at like, okay, maybe we need to go a bit more into that direction, that mind-body direction. So I was like, well, let's already start introducing it a little bit. So you build that community. So before you actually build a separate space, you've already got a community to feed into that. So we'd been drip feeding that. So I've got a meditation course, which I call the wax on, wax off of meditation. And if you've seen The Karate Kid, you get it.
I love it. Why is it called that? What's the
well, because in The Karate Kid, he doesn't learn karate. He learns how to do wax on, wax off, but he accidentally learns how to do karate. And so in my meditation course, I don't teach meditation. I'm teaching you the fundamentals, which you don't even like. How's this related to meditation? But then you put all these pieces together, go, oh, I accidentally meditate. And so because meditation is something that you can't do, right? It's just something, a state of being that you arrive at. But the more you try and do it, the less likely you're going to reach that state.
You won't arrive.
Yeah. And so like same with Daniel's son. He's really good at karate because all he's doing is painting the fence and waxing the car, and he knows how to do that without thinking about it. And so same with that. And so in the gym environment, it's great to bring in, like you say, the science to soul. It's like I'm bringing in the science. We're talking about brainwave frequency, and we're talking about what breath does to the nervous system. We're talking about nervous system regulation. So all of these concepts accidentally drop you into a state of meditation. And what I found too with a lot of my classes, I've just started a new class there called Bend and Breathe, and it's mobility, it's breath work and mindset. So it's a start to the day. It's just mobility work. Sometimes it's functional movement, sometimes more yin, sometimes fascia, sometimes more yoga, sometimes stretch. Then we do a variety of breath work, and sometimes it really is just holotropic breath work, like totally drop in, deep breath work. And then throughout the class, every week, I bring in a mindset piece. So there's some sort of way that we're working on a mindset. So it's what you would do at home to start you off in the day. And so get you ready and set an intention and focus and know that you're making choices throughout the whole day. And so be conscious of your thoughts, be conscious of your choosing. And so every week that's a little bit different. And again, bringing in those elements. And like you say, with the alchemy, one of the classes, like one of my yoga classes, it's complete alchemy. It's complete alchemy, and always has been. But however, now I'm really, really owning it and embracing it and surrendering. And people come up and go, wow, how do you know that? How does it always happen to be exactly what I needed? And I'm like, because it's got nothing to do with me, because I'm just the conduit, and I sit there and I wait, and I literally get downloads as we go. Oh, yeah, now we're doing that pose. Oh, now we're doing that. Oh, now I'm saying this. Oh, now this is happening. And I watch it come together, and I sit there and go, oh, my God, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have put that together like that.
And then an hour's finished. That's exactly how I was operating recently. And an hour was over, and I think, how did I just do that? Like I had
amazing.
But it was great to just, use those channeling skills, walk in with, I had a bunch of playlists, so it would be like, I'll just choose them. Or sometimes mid-time, it's like, it's a song drops.
Oh, no, same. I'm always like, oh, no, I can't do this one. Like, oh, no, it's not resonating. Sorry, the music's not working.
And it worked really well. What I did find out here was, unfortunately, because I thought breath work will be the bridge for these people.
Yeah.
But they were just so freaked out by the breath.
Yeah, no. So I started off with just basic box breathing. And then talking about nervous system regulation and the vagus nerve and all that sort of stuff. It took a while to get to holotropic breath work.
Yeah, maybe I tried to drop them in too fast. They were like, what?
It is freaky. It is freaky for people. They go, what's happening? What's happening? I'm like, just relax. It's your own breath. It's just you. Nothing's happening. You're not taking any drugs. There's nothing going on. It's just you. Just stop breathing weird then, and then you'll be all right,
It's amazing, isn't it? I think breathwork has been another real gift to
helping
bridge worlds, because people are just having such an
especially for guys, and this is where the biohacking scene is really good, because it's like, oh, I want to optimize, and it's like I'm going to do ice bath and I'm going to do breath work and all that stuff, and it's like
try a little bit on the side maybe.
Yeah. But what happens is that that's cool, do that. And then, you know how you drop in when you're doing that breath hold? You know that place? Yeah, that place, and then once they feel it, they go, hey, what was that, and then they zen out. And my take on ice baths is that it's the same thing. It's so, so, so powerful in the spiritual journey. And because what we do is I do this breathe and brew class. and in the breath work, again, we do the breathing, and then we do the breath holds. And in the breath holds, there's you've just dropped into silence. You're not even breathing. You don't need anything. In this moment, you're so whole, you don't even need the breath. You're just dropping into suspended in stillness. Okay, now we breathe again. Okay, suspended in stillness. And when they learn this like place to drop into through the breath work, what we then do is go into the ice bath. And so the ice bath is this stressful environment. And their go-to, their classic go-to is talk about it, think about it, go, okay, hang on, I could do it, I could grit it out. Or they're going like, oh my God. Yeah. And so in that, it's again like relax and just close your eyes and drop into that place you were just in when we were doing the breath work, and just zen. And it's like one of my mantras in the ice bath is, I have no opinion of this. It's just, I have no opinion of this. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's cold. It's I can handle it. I can't handle it. Nothing. I have no opinion of this. Just this like suspended state. And that's it. And then they're amazed. And what that does is it's reconditioning their nervous system, reconditioning their stress response. And they can then take that. For me, what it did is it helped me to actually concentrate better when I'm trying to do work on the computer, because I can't sit there for that long. And my mind wants to go, oh, this is boring. Let's do something else. And I'm like, stay, just like in the ice bath. It's been a really powerful way to bring those sort of practices on the spiritual journey.
Amazing. I love all of this. I'm getting so excited and thinking, okay, I need to book into this class drive. I will battle the Auckland traffic because I love everything that you're creating here.
And the ice baths do actually help. They really do.
Yeah.
They really, it's a nervous system recalibration. It's a overcoming preference and aversion. It's a way to learn to stay, and when we don't want to stay. So,
because like resilience is something that I think. I was just thinking about it the other day as I was reflecting on myself, and I was like, man, I've done some really hard things in my life, like even if we go right back to being 17 and doing bodybuilding and like losing 25 kilos and like really stuck at that. I was really disciplined. So
Amazing.
I had that in me.
Yeah.
But I tend to swing on the pendulum into, and then it was like I had a journey where I really did need to soften. I needed to do the heart healing, let down the walls and learn to rest and learn to receive and, like that part of the journey. But my body probably reflected that too. So now it's kind of about bringing it all together. So is your kind of 4-pillared approach that you use, you're really actually bringing these pillars together?
My early days, the gym saved me. And so I did a body shaping competition. I was right into triathlon and things like that. And my identity was shaped around, my worth was shaped around my athletic presentation. So I would quite often, have to share like, oh, I did this run and I did that, and then I went there and then I did this, and now I'm going to go teach that class and blah, 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 and teaching there. And it was like, that was my badge of honor, right? That was where I would feel like my worth was and where my, approval was. And so it wasn't healthy. And, in my teens, I had eating disorders, and early 20s as well. And when I sort of went from anorexia to bulimia, and then I went to just exercising so that I could eat, and then I'd eat and go, well, tomorrow I'll do an extra run. I got on my yogic journey. And when I went to India, and I was all prepared to stay in India and become a Swami in the ashram, because I've always been seeking of my spiritual path. So when I was going to join the Christian church, or the Bible college, I was going to be a nun. Now I'm running off to India and I'm going to be a Swami, because I'm seeking for that homecoming of like, well, the spiritual path has always called me. And so then when I went to India, I remember being willing to let go of my athletic side. And so it was an identity death. I literally cried. Because I was ready to drop that side of me, because I felt that a yogi doesn't train like that, and the physical side of things is not part of being a yogi. And so I was ready to die to that. And then I got to the ashram, and it was almost like that pendulum swing, and I went, I was like, hang on a minute, kind of took a few backward steps, and I was in the ashram, and it was beautiful, and I loved it and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I got back from India, and I wasn't healthy. I was sick, and I was really, low on iron and all this stuff. And I was sitting in meditation going, what's wrong with me? And I literally got a drop in going, get out and start exercising. And so I started exercising, and that's when I went, it's like an inhaled, and I came back to life, because that is me. That is such a big part of my identity. But this time it had nothing to do with anybody else, and it had nothing to do with what others are going to think about it. It was just literally me and my body being on this journey together. And since then I've never stopped, and it's been an amazing, beautiful journey. But it is that understanding that, and again, this is what I said earlier on about my own perception has been in the way, and the biggest battle I've had in my whole life has been me. Like totally.
Well,
and
yeah,
and like this whole
on the earth, right?
thinking that I couldn't be both, couldn't be a yogi that trains. I was embarrassed when I saw my yoga friends if I'm on my way to teach a pump class. I'm like, but I was also embarrassed for my yoga friends to know I teach pump, and or also for my fitness friends to know that I'm a yogi. And so it was so ridiculous. So eventually
this is it right here, right? So it's the weird, I've been talking in my other groups this week around like, where are we at war within, right? There's a lot going on out there right now, but really unity consciousness is only going to happen if we look at where are we at war within. So for you, like, I can feel your shift. I was going to ask you, what was the big shift? But that's it, right? Is realizing I don't have to choose between this or that. I am a person that exercises and loves to lift weights, and I get to be a yogi at the same time. And, for me, it's been around that creativity. We've all got that one thing, that really brings us into soul alignment. And that's a word that I use a lot as well. It's like, if I'm not being creative, everything in my life starts unraveling slowly. So for you, it was like, if you're not like physically like doing your thing,
totally,
things start to separate, right? The fractures, the separation. We can go into real highfalutin conversations around unity consciousness, but is this not just it right here? It's like, stop making yourself choose.
And
your unique expression.
And what I love so much about this new earth concept and understanding and seeing it how it's unfolding, and this is the blessing and why you're back in Auckland and why I'm back in Auckland, because this is where we can be of service, because it is about that awareness that I said this in the beginning of last year. It's like, okay, in the beginning of last year, it was like, okay, that's it. That 3D, that storyline that we've lived for those millennia has finally finished. We've come to the end of that cycle, that civilization, that story, that era is closed. And so I was like saying to people, imagine that whole story of what we've just lived, we're putting it in a file on our desktop, and it's called the 3D file, and we've just put it in, and we can refer back to it later. But in order for us to be able to really walk into this brand new era, this brand new world, we have to close the book for a while at least. Not go, well, we did this, so shall we do that? Nothing to do with what we've done. Like, we can only be creative, and we can only create something completely different if we don't even refer to what has been. And so last year was really a state of like transition, and now we're fully there. And so now it really is, we're being tested, and there's an opportunity in the sense that the old storyline exists, but how much energy are you giving it? And it's all about speaking into and living into this world that doesn't have that duality and that unity consciousness in every level. So how we merge all the things. It's not like we throw out stuff. We can hold on to things that serve us from that old world, but we merge it into we spiral it upwards, like what we were speaking about earlier. We create a version of it that is unified with not just each other and not just within ourselves, but within the, like you said before, within this earth. And so the unity is that the expression of this new world serves all. And that is within ourselves, within each other, and every living being, including the earth. And that is possible, and it's a beautiful thing. And it starts literally in ourselves, where we are still wanting to go, am I this or that? Can I express like this or that? It's like, literally, how do we express completely unified within ourselves all the time?
It's the both and, right? And I've been teaching it in Reiki through the Seihei, and I was like, well, how do I want to bring this across? This is about, like, we just talked about all of the different things in life where we're like, think we have to choose between one to have another. It's the end of the self-sacrificing era. So rather than I've been through a big journey of like, I want it all and we get to have it all. I heard that. It's like, we get to have it all. Do we? But I've had to really let go of what I think that looks like. Big time. So I love it that so many times through your journey, it sounds like you've learnt the art of surrender, and you have that, you have the grief, you have the tears. That was me yesterday. It's like there's a version of self that's left the building yesterday, and so there was a lot of tears. My children were like,
yeah, of course.
Like, yeah, it's just that everything is shifting. And I called this in, like, it was about a month ago, where I just handed my soul mission over again. I was like, I've gotten to in my head again.
Yeah,
Things aren't moving forward quite right. You feel the resistance. I've gone back into the 3D of like all the fear-based stuff, right? So it's like, I just let it go. I was like, I surrendered. I'm like, make me your servant.
That's it.
Put me where you need me. I will do what is required.
Beautiful.
And that's it. And it's just been like things just happening so fast. It's crazy. So I think,
and the thing is that sometimes people feel like that surrender and I'll be your service means sacrificing yourself. But it's the opposite, because ultimately, like, you wouldn't have these passions, desires, and this inspiration in creativity or whatever else it is if it wasn't what your purpose was and why you're here. And so put me where you need me is exactly also serving you and letting you be the full expression of your authentic self. And quite often we lose, or sometimes we'll lose the path, because we are reflecting on what others are doing. And yes, we're capable of doing that, but it's not your path. Yeah. And so, it comes back to, I don't care.
I love that. I love this so much. This is so this freakishly aligned. It's like so many of us just feeling that call to get back in community, to get back into arts, and to get back.
Even Gary V said the other day, in person is where it's at. And it's like, oh, great. I've just spent 3 years learning the online environment. Now it's like, oh, get in person. I'm like,
I know. I'm just like, I was also thinking that I'm guessing like it'll come in handy somehow with this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's great.
Amazing. We just
showed
up to a networking event. Like, this is just a perfect example of everything that you've been sharing, like followed that nudge to go to this event, and then there was the typical networking questions. What's the one thing you want to be known for? And I'm like, because I do so many different things in my business, I'm like, creativity, let's just go with that, right? And then I got magically paired with another person who's an artist, and then and is doing this very unique intersection of arts and community. And I was just, before I knew that about her, I was like, I'm really feeling like I'd actually like to do more in-person things, and maybe exhibitions, and then bring in like the quantum journeys and the healing with that, and then it's totally new and take it away. And then she's like, well, I just happen to do that kind of thing in my business. It was just
so
crazy.
good.
It was ridiculous how aligned. And then 1 hour later, I'd been thinking, maybe I should, here's a mindset piece, right? Maybe I should go check out a festival sometime. But my mindset has been like, I'm not a spiritual festival goer. No, it's not my scene. very limited, right? Those are probably all my people, my soul,
Yeah,
my soul
exactly.
tribe. Like it's probably just a visibility, we try and hold ourselves back, right? And then within 1 hour of having said all that out loud, like a festival reached out to me, would you like to come as an artist? And I was just like, what the actual fuck is happening? But this
Amazing.
is how we get to
Oh,
manifest. We
exactly.
listen
Like
to
we
our
make it hard for
soul.
ourselves. It doesn't have to be that hard,
But I almost saw that like a mindset crumbling away of just like, that's just a
Beautiful.
fucking story, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it really
Oh,
is all about crumbling and allowing. And then, what also is fascinating is as things crumble, who is left standing in your environment? You're like, oh, wow, look at all these amazing people in my world.
mm,
They're so aligned. And some of the others crumble away, and that's also sad.
mm,
People move away. And sometimes it's, I talk about it being a train that's leaving the station. Bashar talks about these trains splitting and the train tracks splitting, and sometimes you realize, oh wow, that person, I thought they were on this train, but they're not. They're
yeah.
actually falling away, and it's sad because wow, not you too. You know,
You're so in tune. Like literally, that was me 2 days ago. It's just like, oh, shock, horror. I thought we were on the same train.
yeah.
Turns out we're not. And that was really sad. But then within 24 hours, I'd met
Yes,
five,
that's
six,
right.
maybe seven new people at a really
And
intimate
we got to
level.
be sad and wave goodbye, and then check out who's on your train.
Yeah. I love that. I love all your analogies. I love all your the names for all of your programs. I think you truly do embody what it is to be a bridge, which is to make this accessible without dropping the frequency. I think is a key part, isn't it? And it sounds like
Mm,
you're just fully embodying that. I think we've probably run out of time. My question came, or
yes.
maybe the question I was going to ask you was
Yeah,
just,
go
do you
for it.
want to share? I know we were talking about we're on the body stuff, and then I lost my question. Then it's come back, which was recently you have been on a bit of a intuitive food journey, which is changing things for you. Do you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that as
yeah,
well?
absolutely. Yeah, that's good. So I, generally, I also had when I was down the mountain that I had that softening phase and things like that. So my training definitely became less, and my diet definitely increased and a bit more chocolate on a regular basis. And so I wasn't too fussed about it. But what I did feel like, I want to let go of this attachment, that this intrinsic response that every time I eat something, afterwards I want to eat some chocolate. And it was just this reactive, and it was like it felt disempowering because it was I was reacting to it so much. I was already eating the chocolate, I was already planning the chocolate, and I was like, I don't want that, not for any other reason than I don't want to be controlled by this response. So I was started to go, okay, I want to do a bit of a cleanse, and I was looking at some cleanse things, and so many of them just felt too harsh. This heavy. Heavy metals detox or a mold detox or whatever it was, but I felt the call to have the cleanse, and then it came to me to do this Ayurvedic style cleanse because it's more aligned with it. So it was much softer. Anyway, I put it out there and got a bit of a group of people who were all aligned to want to do it as well. And it just was so effortless. It happened. It literally was quite magical. So I had this huge detox effect for day one. I became all puffy and weird, and then I did all sorts of things. But what also happened was, yes, the chocolate and the sugar was effortless. It was effortless. It was like I'd made the decision and click, it was gone. I thought it would be harder. It wasn't. But what I didn't expect, that also dairy fell away completely. And I've been vegetarian a long time, but I was already on and off over the years. I would have experiences when I'm eating eggs and I'm like just about to vomit, going, oh my God, I'm eating eggs. It's so gross. And so that just all fell away as well. And at the end of that cleanse, I was fully vegan. And it has just been such a, of course, how has it taken me that I have been vegan once before and I didn't do it very well, so I became quite unwell. So I thought it wasn't, but now I realize that's a frequency shift, and it makes 100% sense. And it's like this awakening of going, how could I ever thought that even vegetarianism was okay? When we talk about this unity consciousness, and we talk about the fact that we are all connected, and the way we live with the earth and the way we live together and the response we have to each other and how kind we are to the person who's in the car next to you and you let them in and all that stuff, that kindness and that respect and that honor of all living and all things is a continuation. Everything is a tourist field. It's going out and coming back all the time. And so that awareness that I live in that level of integrity, that how could I've ever thought that even being vegetarian was okay? And this is just me. They're like, everybody's on their own journey. However, I do feel like, yes, of course, veganism makes sense. And, it just became a natural state of being. And it really is, when we're talking about the different versions of ourselves in different levels of frequency, as I ascend my own frequency by doing the work that we do on our own journey, this is just natural, that the level frequency I am at now, I could not imagine not being vegan. And if I was a lower frequency, then I could maybe consider being vegetarian. But right now it's kind of like, no, that makes so much sense. Like, I suppose everything is cause and effect. And if we want to create this new world, this is part of that for me. And this is the world I want to live in, right? The world I want to live in is do no harm on every level. And so that's just kind of...
It becomes very hard to reconcile the more conscious that you become. I'm still eating meat and eggs, but also, like the deep dives that you go on and the experiences that you have of oneness, and, it becomes a little bit like, how long? We'll wait and see, because I know what happens to me is when I eat, I'll go through periods where I just eat fruit and veg, and I think for me, I almost get a little bit like, I'm scared of how freaking amazing.
Well, I think that's it. Like the good thing about me being so obsessed with the fitness and the muscle that I have, and I'm obsessed with my muscle, is that I really, really focus on the protein. And so I have this time round, I have done much more homework, and that I definitely know, like, I can see where I went wrong last time, because just not eating, meat and dairy doesn't mean you're healthy. Yeah. You got to get it right.
What you're doing, and you've done your homework. Is this something you think you might open up as part of your
program? Yeah, I think I will, as I deep dive more, especially the protein side of things, because I know that is an issue for people, and understanding like how do you get good quality protein. And literally, I'm in like my body shape has changed so much since I've come back to Auckland and stuff like that, and I'm like I'm a million times better than I look freaking good. And I'm 56 now.
Yes, you do. You're a glowing example for your work, so I'm celebrating you, and I feel so freaking inspired and lit up, and tuning into my body, and I'll probably go on and reassess a few things later on today. So thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you for just letting me ramble.
I think it was great, because this is our first season where we're, what was I saying to you before, the embodied creatrix, and everyone's brought their own unique, beautiful flavor. We've had horse wisdom, we've had rose oracle channels, and now you're really, it's like in the body, which you're speaking my language. So
beautiful.
It's such an important part of the weave, right? We're bringing spirit into matter, not the other way around. So
that's right, exactly. Thank you. It's been amazing. It's been great.
And
loved it.
How can people connect with you if they want to come check out where you are or what you do, or connect with you online?
I'm probably most active on Instagram, so Evolve NZ. That also will link to Facebook, where I also do a little bit more extended stuff. And otherwise, my website is wendy-v.com. And those are really the easiest channels.
Amazing. And we'll put all those links below in the show notes for you guys that are listening, and can get in touch with Wendy if you are feeling like you want to be younger, hotter, glowing with health and vitality as you shoot up your ascension spiral. Wendy is
beautiful
lady. So amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for being here and for sharing this space with us today. If something in this episode stirred, opened, or resonated within you, I invite you to follow the podcast and share it with your soul family. Please send us some love and give us a 5-star review if you loved it today. Your listens, shares, and reviews help this work ripple outward where it's meant to land. For deeper connection, you can visit debbielimcreative.com or find me on Instagram at debbielimcreative. And I'd really love to hear what moved or awakened for you in this conversation today. One final reminder, you're not here to fit into the old world. You're here to birth a new one through your body, your creativity, and your frequency.